This text before us today, Nicodemus, you've probably heard it read many times, and I know you've heard, if not the way it is rendered in this translation, born from above, you have heard born again. And if you know me, you know I don't like that born again phrase, but we'll talk about that, because you'll know why. I'm a big fan of the Jason Bourne movies. The first movie is called The Bourne Identity. And I like the books too, but the movies I really do like. And the Bourne series tells the story of a human super spy, an assassin, created as a weapon by the government to do black operations all over the world. And he's equipped with skills in weaponry, sabotage, assassinations, and hand-to-hand combat. He is a bad guy. There is no getting around it. He's horrible. He's done horrible things. And he can do it because he is psychologically conditioned to repress empathy and conscience. So he can do those horrible things to people without reservation or without hesitation. And when Bourne, the reason the conflict comes, because when Bourne is called to assassinate a dictator from a developing country, he realizes that he may have to kill the dictator's innocent children. But some part of him tells him, I can't do that. And there's a conflict in him. And the trauma of this and the trauma of the fight with the dictator's bodyguards causes him to lose his memory. But a shocking thing happens. As he's on the run, he meets a woman and he falls in love. And love transforms him, such that he no longer can be the killer that the government created. As his memories return, he still can do all those things. He still has all those skills, but he doesn't want to kill people anymore. The empathy and the conscience that his creators wanted to repress came back. No, he cannot unlearn and unknow what they taught him to do, and he can't forget what he's done, the horrible things he's done. But he can be something different. He can be something new. And so he spends the rest of his life trying to stop the government from doing evil. Our relationship and the power of love inspire him to use what he can do for good. So the rest of the series is about this guy who could do terrible things, trying to help out people. Our relationship and the power of love gave him a new identity. But the question is, was it a new identity? Or was this desire to help, to do good, his original truest identity? Jason Bourne is reborn. He has what I want to call the reborn identity. Yeah, I thought that was clear. But I believe that Jesus was trying to explain a similar idea to Nicodemus. I do. That who we truly are can be known. That no matter what we've done, no matter how far afield we've gone, that our truest identity is right there underneath all of the junk and the crap. That who we truly are can be known by abiding in Jesus. Now, this text, you've probably heard it many times, it has been distorted and misunderstood so that we have missed out on what it means to be in a relationship with Jesus and to experience the power of love that comes with Jesus. Nicodemus himself misunderstood what Jesus was trying to tell him, resisting even the possibility of recognizing and believing who Jesus is. That encounter with Jesus that night was an invitation. Nicodemus heard Jesus say that you must be born again. And right away, he closed his mind to Jesus' invitation to something else. That when he heard born again, his mind, his imagination got really closed. So when he came to Jesus at night, we see that Nicodemus comes with a complete lack of imagination. He is beholden to a posture of saying, I don't know who this is. And some part of me is afraid to know who this is. Nicodemus admits that Jesus comes from God because of the signs he's seen Jesus perform. But he only scratches the surface of who Jesus is. And here's the thing, I submit to you. If we only scratch the surface of who Jesus is, we may not ever know who we are. We may not ever get a chance to get to know us, who we truly are. So when Jesus tells Nicodemus that no one can enter the kingdom of God, no one can get to hang out with God, no one can get to be a part of this thing that we're doing without being born from above. And this is Nicodemus' question. How can these things be? When I was a kid, my mother would be on the phone and someone would tell her something that obviously just shocked her. And she would go, "Girl, hush your mouth." It was because she was asking, how can these things be? So I want you to know when someone says, how can when someone says, how can these things be? Or, girl, hush your mouth. They're saying, it can't be. I don't believe it. My imagination can't get it. But there is no reason for Nicodemus, or us, by the way, to assume that the word translated into born again should be the only way to hear what Jesus is saying, or to limit our imagination as to what Jesus is inviting us to. What Jesus said could also be rendered born anew, born from above. And here's what I want us to do. I want us, when someone says, are you born again? I'm going to say, yes, I'm born again, but I'm also born anew, and I'm born from above. All of the above. Because I want you to stretch your imagination about what it means to be hanging out with Jesus in this way. So Nicodemus chose to hear born again to mean returning to the womb and being born as a baby again. How can these things be? Girl, hush your mouth. And so many Christians today have chosen to hear born again as somehow signing up to submit to doctrines and dogma of an oppressive and unimaginative church. Many Christians have chosen to hear born again as just a call to avoid sin. Okay, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with avoiding sin. You should avoid sin. I need to say that because I want you to know what I didn't say. He didn't say anything about sin. Yeah, avoid sin. But a life with the one who brings life has to be more than just about avoiding sin. Oh, you didn't hear me. Let me say it this way. A life with the one who is life means that we should have access to life. This life shouldn't be about just avoiding sin. It should be about living. How in the face of life standing before you will you say, oh, this is all about just avoiding sin? No, I have access to the one who loves God, the one who is with God, the one who is God. I'm supposed to live. I'm getting a little upset here because, again, I told you that born again thing bothers me. So if you see me getting a little excited, that's because every time I hear someone says that, born again, I know what they're telling me is, you're not avoiding sin. And they tell me, because you are a gay man, you're not avoiding sin. I don't go to Jesus to avoid sin. It's because I'm with Jesus that sin is not my problem. Or the sin that is my problem is the refusal, the refusal to see that Jesus is the one who makes God present right there in my life, right now, which is what Nicodemus did. The sin, if you want to call it out, was Nicodemus refusing to recognize that the very presence of God was right there, and all he had to do was reach out and hold on to it and believe it. And then what? Live. All this is about life. And then what is it? What is it when we do this? What is it about living, about this one in front? Jesus is telling Nicodemus, I'm not inviting you just solely to avoid sin. I'm inviting you, Nicodemus, to be born anew, from above and again. I'm inviting you to be born of water and spirit. I'm inviting you to let the waters of baptism and the gift of the Holy Spirit draw you into a relationship with me, such that you will have a reborn identity, that you will be transformed by the experience because you are hanging out, you are abiding with, you are staying with me. So here's the thing, when we are born anew, when we are born again, when we are born from above, we become a new creation, given new life by the very presence of God right there with us. And if Jesus is the one who comes from God and does what he does because of the presence of God, then when Jesus tells us to be born anew, born again, and born from above, live, express, embody the things of God. If we live, breathe, express, and embody the things of God, then our life will not be about just avoiding sin. It'll be about living a life that's good. Oh, I know. Jesus does not spell. Jesus can be very cryptic, by the way. Jesus does not spell out any specific characteristics of this identity. And that is the beauty. That's the freedom. Jesus says, there's no list of things you cannot do. I need to go back and tell my parents, you can wear pants and makeup. That's not what this is about. Let me go to the party. Let me go to the movies. Because it's not about these lists of things you shouldn't do, the things you can't do. That's not what Jesus said. Jesus said to him, the Spirit goes where it will. That means if you are born of the Spirit, then wherever the Spirit is, the Spirit will guide you. So don't live your life trying to avoid sin. Live your life letting the Spirit have her way with you, such that you will have a life. I gotta go. In Jesus, we have a reborn identity. It's an identity that doesn't erase our histories. Let me clear that up for you. It doesn't erase our histories. It doesn't erase our mistakes. But also, it doesn't deny our humanity. We don't have to give up our gifts. We don't have to give up our sexualities. We don't have to give up our personhood. Rather, this identity, this reborn identity, is a recognition that in light of Jesus, in light of a relationship with the one who blesses us with life and abundance, that all of who we are now is available. All of who we are is available to be used by God. Everything we have now is a part of that relationship with the one who was with God and is God. When I left corporate America, I wanted to go to seminary. And there was in this voice that said, you have spent all of your life learning all of these skills, learning these things in politics and in business, and you're saying now that you want to go to seminary, and I said, I don't know how I had a crisis in my identity. I didn't know what to do. And then as I said, I'm going to step out, I'm going to go, I'm going to accept the invitation and go where Jesus leads. I'm going to do it anyway. And the first thing that happens, less than 2 weeks after I left my job that paid a lot of good money, I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I was scared. The presiding bishop of the Episcopal Church said, I need you to come and do what you did in the government for us, so that we can bear witness as the people of God to the lawmakers of the land. Everything I was, everything that I got, every skill, God used it to bear witness to God's presence in the world. Everything you are, everything you are, can be used by God. Oh, I know you're saying, oh, but I'm a horrible person. I'm like Jason Bourne. I kill everything I touch. I destroy every relationship. No one can trust me. I'm horrible. I'm here to tell you right now, whoever you are, wherever you've been, whatever you've done, God can use you. God can use you. God will use you. For God so loved the world, God gave the only begotten, that those who believe in Him, those who trust in Him, those who say, I want to be in a relationship with Him, those who say, I recognize that you are indeed the one, will live in the eternal presence of God. Oh, may it be so for